Welcome to Tuesdays at 2. I'm your host, RJ. In this show, we take a new ingredient every week. It's going to be an ingredient you can find at your local supermarket, and we're going to teach you how to make a wonderful recipe with it. So stick around and check out the recipe.
I had to pick, or I have to use Spam. Most people's experience with Spam is usually Spam sandwiches. I'll tell you what, I didn't have Spam. I had Spam as a kid all the time, and then didn't have it until after college. I was in Florida, in Key West. There was a Spam truck. It was probably later at night than I should have been up, but there was like a Spam food truck, and it was handing out free Spam sandwiches, little piece of Spam on those Hawaiian rolls. Changed my mind. I like Spam again. We got back into it. So what I'm going to make for you guys is a super quick Spam ramen. I know, sounds weird. It's going to look really good when we get done. More importantly, it's going to taste really good when we get done. And then, so that's kind of the Asian side of Spam. And then we're going to flip that over to the Hawaiian side of Spam. We're going to do a Hawaiian seasoned Spam and egg dish over rice. It's a really traditional dish that you'll find in Hawaii. I know it's funny to hear traditional Spam in the same sentence, but it is. They've kind of turned into a state phenomenon over there, which I guess that means it's partially a national dish. America's Hawaii, or Hawaii's America, both ways. So we gotta figure out how to do it. Let's cook some dishes from all of our states, huh? Okay, so let's start. I'm going to turn this pan on over here, over high heat, and I'm going to put in. I'm trying to figure out if I want to make 1 or 2 servings. I think I'm gonna make 1 serving. I don't have a ton of people here today, so I'm gonna put in 2 cups of chicken stock. And to add to that, I'm going to put in the white part of some white onions. We'll do 2 white onions. We'll do the white part of them. So with white onions, make sure you clean off the outside, right? So I've already washed these twice. But go ahead and pull that one outside layer off as well. That's going to help keep the dirt off of the plate. Get the dirt out of them. Onions are dirty. They grow out of the ground. Most things that grow out of the ground are dirty. So you want to make sure you wash them. I'll give it one more final wipe down here just in case. I thought I saw the dirt on there. All right, so you cut off the roots, which look like little hairs. You want to cut those off, and then look, I got stuff all in the way, guys. So much going on today. All right, so and then you just cut the rounds, right? Okay, so we're gonna add those to the pan. We're gonna let those cook in there with the broth. We're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. I have sugar packets. We have coffee in there. Actually, I ran out of sugar with the next recipe, so sugar packets it is. It's all the same. 1/4 teaspoon. These have about a teaspoon in them. 1/4 of a packet, half packet. It's not no big deal there. Okay, so and then the other thing we need is some soy sauce. Excuse me. I've got 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. Gonna go right in the bowl here. Again, half of everything I brought over here because I brought enough to make 2. We're not going to do that. Okay. We're going to turn that up to high, which it already was. I'm going to pop open one of these packets of ramen. So I'm not going to use the seasoning. I am seasoning these with all the stuff that we're putting in there. You can cheat if you want to do this easier. Use the seasoning pack that comes with these. Don't put in the soy sauce. Don't put in the onions. Don't put in the chili and the oil that I'm going to put in there. But this is the better way. Take your brick, put it in there. Guys, I didn't bring any tongs or anything to serve this with. I'll go get them. Oh, I'm on it. Can I get like 1 or just a spatula and a pair of tongs? Should do me for the trip. All right, so we got that going. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna cover it. I don't have the lid for it. We're gonna let it get hot. Okay, guys. So everything I'm using today is Swiss Diamond HD Nonstick cookware. These are the fry pans, are the cream of the crop. These are the ones we, they sell super well. This is kind of what you want to go for, right? So this is our 11-inch. Thank you so much. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fry our Spam in an 8-inch fry pan. So this 8-inch fry pan, guys, it is usually $69.95. Today is $59.46, 15% off. For the end of the week. All right, so we're taking Spam through the end of the month, not the end of the week. So we're taking Spam, and traditionally you just slice it or you chunk it or whatever it is. This is going to be no different. So I'm going to go ahead and heat this pan up. And we're just going to take 2 slices of Spam here. Guys, don't ask me what Spam is. I don't really want to know. other than delicious. So don't save your Spam in the can. I'm saving it here just to put it off to the side. Don't save your Spam in the can. Take it, put it in a plastic bag, put it in a Ziploc if you want to save it. Once you open it, they're probably good for about a week. I really wouldn't press it past that. I know it's processed. It could have been in that can for a long time. Once you break that seal, once you get it open to the air, it starts to break down. So you don't want to save it forever, and definitely don't save it in the can because now that it's open, the can's going to collect bacteria and hold it in all the ridges and everything else. So don't save it in there. Anyway, you can for just a few seconds, like I'm doing. Okay, so what we've got going on over here. This is our 6820 pan. It is basically a short-sided stock pot. And so I'm boiling the ramen noodles in there until they're done. It's going to take about 3 to 5 minutes. Ramen noodles don't take anywhere close to the amount of time. You know what? I forgot we're doing only one serving. So you only need one slice of Spam. It's okay. We're going to put them in there. Let them start to cook. We'll put that back in there. We'll use it later. So what we're doing here is we're just going to fry off the Spam. I want to get both sides of the Spam pretty brown. Not burnt, but I want to, get a good browning on them. And that's going to be the meat of our dish here. Okay, the good thing about ramen noodles is, guys, if you've ever made ramen before in the microwave, it takes like 2 or 3 minutes. This really doesn't take that much longer. That's what we're going for there. Okay. I'm going to make sure I'm not missing anything. Nope, we'll do all the rest. Okay, perfect. So again, this is our HD nonstick fry pan. All the items we're using are HD nonstick. This fry pan here, I mentioned it earlier. It is the 8-inch. It's normally $69.95. Today it's $59.46. This is our low-sided stock pot, basically, or small casserole pan. It's normally $189.95. It's $160, $146. It does come with a tempered glass lid. I don't have one here to show you. I thought it did. No big deal. I show you guys that in all the episodes. Go back, check out everything that I've done in the past. You'll go all through the HD line. No problem. You'll be able to see everything it does. So you'll know that it browns like stainless. You'll know that the nonstick will keep the eggs off it. You're going to see all of that right here in just a minute. So guys, this meal is super fast. Again, like I was telling you. So fast, I'm going to go ahead and start to get out my serving plate. So this Spam, actually I'll use this Spam for the next one. I can save this. My production team is going to be so excited that I have to save Spam because we're going to do something fun with it. I don't know what it'll be. Okay. Garlic is for that meal. Cool. We are on track. All right, guys. So some of the qualities of these pans. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So some of these qualities of these pans are you got a cast aluminum base. That means it's perfectly flat. It's not going to rotate, warp, spin on your cooktop. It also helps with heat conductivity. On top of that, we have our plasma layer. That plasma layer does two things. One, it helps our nonstick coating stick. Two, it makes an impermeable layer on the cookware, so you can't get into it. You're not going to have aluminum leaching into your food. Then we have 4 layers of the diamond infused nonstick coating. Those diamonds are inherently nonstick. They also help with heat conduction, so it makes the pan even that much better. Then we get back to the handle. You have a Bakelite handle on either one of these. This material here is Bakelite. Obviously, this one has 2. This one has 1. They're screwed on, not riveted. That rivet on the inside that you see in a lot of pans, that can create a place for germs to live, right? A place for bacteria to build up if you don't clean it really well. It also is a nightmare to clean. You never get it clean around there. It always looks like you got some burnt stuff in there. So this helps with that. They are made in Switzerland, so not only designed but also made in Switzerland. All the HD lines are, let's see, what else? They're oven safe up to 250 degrees. Nope, they're oven safe up to 500 degrees. Sorry, that's 260 Celsius, 500 degrees Fahrenheit. And then the best part to me, that is way too hot. All right, so what we're doing, we cooked that Spam. Guys, we fried that Spam off real quick. So I'm putting that pan back on there and putting it to low. I'm going to crack an egg in it. We're going to sunny side up fry 1 egg. Normally in a ramen you would do a poached egg. We're going to do a fried egg. You're going to see why. Okay, so I'll get back to this stuff in a minute. Let's go ahead and start plating this one. Again, I told you the ramen was quick. The other one takes a little bit longer. So go ahead and carefully pour in all the juice and the ramen, or the broth and the ramen. All right, just like that. We can set this down there. Yeah, all right, I hear you. Happier now? No? There we go. Okay. All right, so we're going to take the Spam. We're going to have it off to the side like this. Let the egg finish cooking. Bring it up just a little bit now that it's cooled down. Guys, I know you want to put a bunch of fat in there before you're cooking the egg. With Swiss Diamond cookware, you don't need to. You don't need butter. You don't need oil. By all means, you can use it if you want to, but you don't need it. This stuff is going to come right off. You'll see it. That being said, with this recipe, there is some fat that falls out of that Spam, right? So you're going to be able to use the fat from that Spam if you need the fat. If you feel like you want the fat for the eggs, you're going to have it there. So this egg is not quite done cooking. We're going to go ahead and give it a little nudge and see if we can get it to help itself get some of that bottom stuff cooked here. There we go. Give it another second. So a little trick with eggs, guys. Even if you're doing sunny side up. Cover the top of them. You're going to get it cooked a lot faster. Don't flip it, because when you flip it, it's not going to be sunny side up. You're not going to see that yolk on the top. You're not going to have that nice runny yolk like you're wanting. But if you cover it, it's going to help all those proteins kind of come together. Super good. All right, guys, so here's the next trick on this. So while we're finishing this up, we're going to take the green part of an onion. Okay, and we're going to cut it. Cut off the top and the bottom piece just to make sure you get any of the dirt or whatever off of it. Scoot this over so you can see it. Now take it and cut it long ways, guys, so you can get long slices on this. Again, it's a garnish. It's definitely edible. You don't have to worry about that. All right, that egg should be pretty close to done. Let's see where we're at. Yep. So we take that egg, slide it right in here. Careful not to break the yolk. If you don't like sunny side up eggs and you want to cook this differently, by all means do that. This is how I serve this at the house. So we take this now and put some greens on it. You take a little bit of sesame oil. Just a little bit. Goes a long way here. Just quick one of those. Some chili. If you have chili oil, that's better. I don't have chili oil. I have the chili paste. So we're going to take a little bit of chili paste and dollop it right in the middle. Boom. All right. So there is your first meal, just that fast. Don't knock Spam. I'm telling you, this is going to be amazing. All the stuff we're making today is really good. Okay, on to the next one. Just like that, we're bringing in the big guns now. So I've got the 12.5-inch fry pan. So what we're making now is we are going to make a caramelized Spam with eggs over rice. So I've got an egg pan and a Spam pan. Actually, I probably swap that because I need the bigger one for all the eggs. So egg pan, Spam pan, say that. All right. So anyway, okay, so we're prepared the rice ahead of time. That's what you want to do. Keep it in the bag. It helps it stay warm. I pulled this out of the microwave seconds before I went on here, so it'll be plenty warm by the time we serve this. Next up, we are going to take a can of Spam, and we're going to dice it. Actually, we want to do the garlic first. I want to do the garlic first. Let's do the garlic first. Let's get 10 cloves of garlic. Yeah, I know, sounds like a lot, but it's part of the meal.
But wait, before we continue, do me a favor. Click that like button, subscribe to us if you haven't already, make sure you've hit the bell so you get our notifications, and comment down below. I know you don't like everything I do, so let me hear it. Now, back to the recipe.
Okay, move that out of the way so you can see. So we're going to crush all this garlic and peel it. So while I'm doing this, I have this pan over here. I have it heating over medium heat. We're going to want it to be warm, but not really, really hot. Garlic, if you put garlic in oil on a hot pan, it's going to start to burn almost instantly. We don't want to do that. We do want to saute it. We do want to roast it just a little bit. But garlic is really quick to start to try to burn. it's got very high residual sugars in it. So we want to make sure that we don't burn those sugars. We want to retain the garlic flavor. Now, there are some recipes out there that called for blackened or charred or roasted or whatever garlic. It's all the same. It's all overcooked. But in some results, that is what you want. It becomes soft, mushy, puts off a very nutty flavor at that point. There's a lot of Italian dishes that use it. There's a lot of Italian desserts that use it, which you may not realize. That's fine. Okay, so we are mincing this garlic. I'm going to chop it up real small. I'm not going to do a full mince. If you use minced garlic out of the jar, or out of the, I guess their jar, this is one of the few times that I would tell you that's fine. I think that would work out okay here because of what we're going to do to it. We are going to cook it off. We are going to roast it a little bit. All right. So we're going to put this in here over medium-high heat. I had it on medium heat. I will raise the heat up just a touch. I don't want it to be too hot, though. All right, and then we're going to take 2 tablespoons of oil. 2 teaspoons of oil. I say tablespoons. Don't use that. That's a lot of oil. And let that roast. In a mixing bowl. Guys, I didn't bring anything. Can you grab me a mixing bowl? Thanks. One big enough for 10 eggs. In a mixing bowl, we're going to whip together 10 eggs. I'm going to show you that here in a second. And then, meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and get this going. Thank you. Okay, once this garlic becomes golden brown, we're going to take it off of the heat, and we're going to go in with the Spam. So what we want to do is I'm going to take the rest of that Spam we used earlier. Since we only did one serving of the ramen, there's plenty left here. I have it, so you use a whole can. We used, one slice less. We're going to be fine. So we're going to take this and we're going to chunk it. Do a thick dice or just kind of chunk or cubed or whatever. You just want to make sure that the slices or that the cuts are relatively the same size, because what we're going to do is we're going to cook it right, so we want them all to be cooked about the same. We don't want to have a big chunk of raw Spam in the middle when everything else is finished. Plus, raw Spam sounds kind of gross, even though I really like Spam things. That's kind of what you're looking for. So I'm going to start cracking these eggs. This will be done in a minute. All right, so we want 10 eggs. Someone stole one of the eggs out of here today already. Oh, it was me, because I did that. Guys, pro tip, if you take eggs and you crack them on a flat surface as opposed to the edge, they normally, again, it's not all the time, but they normally are going to crack where you can open them and you don't have to worry about little shards of shell getting into your meal. If that is something you tend to have issues with, something else you can do to prevent that is crack them one at a time into a smaller vessel, and then pour them into whatever your bigger vessel is that you're going to be using. That way, if something does, if you do break a shell, if there is shell in there, if there is shell in there, it's really easy to pick it out instead of trying to pick it out between all of these. All right, so 10. All right, guys, so that's about how brown you want these. You don't want to go too far. With garlic, I would rather you undercook them than overcook them, because as soon as you put them on here, they're going to keep cooking. They're still in super hot oil. Garlic, you're never going to get it to cook exactly, and that's okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this Spam and we're going to put it back in where the garlic just was, and turn it up to medium-high heat. So you can go pretty high on that. The good thing with Spam is while it will burn, it takes a little longer. It doesn't go quite as fast as garlic. We're going to keep stirring it. We're gonna be okay. We are going to whisk together, and by whisk I mean kind of put together in my hand here. 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. This garlic is going to go in here. We're going to use a tablespoon of butter. This butter is really soft. It's not quite able to be mixed, but we're going to go in that Spam with it. You'll see. So this is going to be our sauce mixture that we're going to use. So with the Spam, on this meal especially, we did on the last one too, you want to get a good browning kind of on every side, or every side that you can. Depends on how meticulous you want to be. If you really want to go in there and flip everyone by hand and make sure you've cooked on all 4 sides, by all means. It's not going to be raw. You'll be fine. It's not going to taste weird or anything. By having that crunchy outside, or it's almost a crunchy outside to the pan, or to the Spam, I'm sorry, is going to give you guys the texture that'll hold together, right? It's kind of like tofu, if you guys like tofu. If you get that crunchiness on the outside, it doesn't get soft again. It holds that kind of forever. So it's a really good texture. It goes well, especially against the eggs. We're going to make a really creamy egg, you'll see. And then, in the rice, obviously. All right, guys, so for the eggs, again, like I showed you earlier, we don't need to use fat for eggs. I need to use fat for the perfect scrambled egg, however, so I'm going to. We don't need it for the pan. I need it for the eggs to take shape how I want them to be. I want them to be very creamy, very, I don't know, thick, if you will. Thick's probably the wrong word for eggs, but very creamy and very fluffy. Yeah, fluffy. That's the word. All right, so I'm just going to melt this butter over here, guys. This is going to be where we're going to cook our eggs. I've got 10 eggs whipped in here, like I said. Move this over. I can't stop staring at that. I think that's what I'm eating for lunch. I should have made more than one serving because the pitcher team is going to get their grubby little hands on it before I do. So maybe it's not what I'm eating for lunch, but it's what I want for lunch now that I'm looking at it. All right, we are getting really close here for when we want to put our sauce on. All right, so that's what you want. Okay, so this is cooked over like a medium-low heat. And this is going to take a while to cook these eggs, and I'm doing it on purpose because what I want to do is I want to continue to fold them on top of each other to make a really creamy egg. And honestly, a little bit bigger pan would be good. But I'm going to show you how you can do it this way. Okay. Kind of move some of this stuff out of the way so you can see. Okay, now with these eggs, we want to keep them moving. You can see that the bottom has started already. You can see, well, I can't really pull it up yet, but there's a bit of start on the bottom of that. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. I want to get that bottom kind of starting to cook, but I'm not worried about overcooking it yet. There's plenty of the egg in there. Okay, so I'm going to pour in my garlic, soy sauce, sugar, butter mixture on top of the Spam. I'm going to turn the Spam down to warm. Make sure you get all that sugar out of there. You're going to want it. I'm actually going to pull this off the heat. It's a little hot. We're going to just kind of let this melt all together, let everything coat. You don't want to burn the sugar. You don't want to turn this to caramel for sure. So since that's the case, let's do this. Boom. All right. So since these pans retain so much heat, I've learned the wrong way. Setting them on the countertop, or at least our countertop here, can melt it. So if you have a countertop which can be melted relatively easily, make sure you put a rag underneath or something, a trivet of whatever. We have Swiss Diamond pan protectors. Those make really good trivets for this type of situation as well. I'm just trying to do a little bit of cleaning here. All this stuff is not needed. What did I not talk about? Let's see. Our tools, all of our tools, we got brand new tool pricing. Everything is $19.95, usually $16.95 today, or through the end of the year, which is a really good deal for these. We also have a 5-piece toolkit, which is $54.95, I believe. And so that's 15% off of that too. And it comes with the spatula, which I use all the time. It has a turner, ladle, tongs, and a strainer. And they all have this stay clean feature on them. The tongs are a little bit different because they're not really made to set on your countertop, but they have a stay free hook type of situation that works on your on the edge of your pan. I'll try to bring those in the next couple weeks into the shots. The reason why I don't use them, and a lot of people have brought them up, is they're not traditional tongs. These are more like traditional tongs. They're what I'm used to. I worked in kitchens forever. They're basically like my hands. The other ones are more of a spatula tong. They have two flat sides on them, and they're much thicker, and they're made to pick up and then flip, which is why I don't use them. I'm just not used to them, but they're really good for what they're made for. They're just not made for what I'm used to using. All right, guys. So I think you can see this up in the point to that camera. I think you can see it on that camera up in the picture-to-picture. You can see how the eggs are starting to come together. We want to keep them moving, keep them real fluffy. We're not looking to get any browning on these eggs at all. So another way to do this, we do have a tamayaki pan, which is a Japanese egg roller pan. And you can put egg in it, roll it, egg in it, roll it. And you'll end up with the same fluffy consistency, except it'll be more of a rolled egg, as opposed to more of a scrambled egg, which is what we're trying for here. But either way would work. All right, guys, so I'm going to serve these in a bowl as well. Get most of this out of here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put the rice in. Read your serving containers. They say this is 1 serving of rice. That is a lot of rice. We're going to split this. It was at least 2 servings. Probably could have got 3. Anyway, if you guys have a rice cooker and you like to cook your own rice, by all means, that's just one of those things on this show that doesn't work very well, because you guys have to sit there and watch a pot do nothing, for 20 minutes or whatever. Season the rice. Always season your rice. Even if you get seasoned rice, I promise it can use a little bit more salt and pepper. They always under-season it in those packs. Okay. There we go. Oh no. It's all right. If you're not making a mess, you're not cooking. That's getting too hot. That's what's going on here. I'll move it back over here. They'll be okay. I really want them to be a little bit more fluffy, but we will just mix everything in. Tuesdays at 2 are hard. It's kind of the end of our day. We don't want to make a mess. I end up making a really big mess. Cleaning crew yells at me. And then the actual office cleaning crew comes in tomorrow and yells at me again. It's kind of, it's hard cooking here. All right, guys, so we're taking this Spam, and we're going to put it on here. I like to present it by doing kind of half and half, right? So try to make like an invisible line on the bowl. Do half of it with Spam, half of it with egg, and then we'll put some greenery on top. They make this in Hawaii also as a roll. It's like a sushi roll. It's the same stuff. It's rice, egg, and spam. So the rice obviously rolls around the spam, and then the egg the egg goes around the spam, the rice goes around the egg, and then there's a piece of nori around that holding it all together. The first time I ever saw that, I just thought it was amazing because you don't think about using spam for sushi, but boy did it work. Put the eggs in here, help them get a little fluffier. Boom. I'll move them over here to this other camera so you can see all this here in a second. Guys, click that follow button down below. Like I said, there's going to be some really good stuff coming forward. Next year, we've got a lot of things to show you too. We have... So, hey guys, for my recipe, I used 1 can of spam. I didn't need 10 eggs. I needed 5 eggs. Now you know.
Thanks for joining us. We had a lot of fun. Do me a favor, click that like button, click the subscribe button. If you haven't hit the bell, make sure you hit that. Comment down below. Stay tuned. Next week, we're going to bring you another great recipe.